Have you ever looked at a painting and just been completely captivated by it? Today, we're taking on one of the most famous paintings in the entire world to figure out what's its secret? What's the magic trick? We're going to crack the code behind its power, using the masterpiece itself as our map. And here it is, Vincent van Gogh's The Starry Night. Just take a second, let your eyes drink it in. That wild, swirling sky, the glowing moon, that sleepy little town below. It's emotional, it's unforgettable, it's the Starry Night. But have you ever really stopped and asked yourself, why? Why is this painting so powerful? Okay, let's dive in. Because here's the thing. The incredible pull of this painting, it isn't actually magic. It's Van Gogh being an absolute master of the fundamental principles of art. These are like the secret ingredients, the building blocks that artists use. And today, we're going to uncover them together. So first things first, before an artist can hit you with all the drama and emotion, they have to build a world that feels right, a world that feels solid and makes sense to our eyes. This first set of principles is all about creating that stable foundation. And it all begins with balance. I want you to think of this as the painting's center of gravity. It's how all the different parts are arranged to make the whole scene feel grounded and purposeful, not just like a random jumble of things. So how does Van Gogh pull this off? Well, look at that massive dark cypress tree on the left. It's heavy, right? It has a lot of visual weight. Now, to keep the whole painting from tipping over to the left, he brilliantly balances it with the moon on the right. The moon is way smaller, but it's so bright that it has enough visual punch to hold its own. It's a perfect balancing act. All right, next up is unity. If balance is what makes the painting stable, unity is the glue that holds the whole thing together. It's what gives you that sense of harmony, making every single part of the image feel like it belongs in the exact same world. And his secret weapon for unity? Look closely at those famous swirling brushstrokes. They're not just up in the sky. You see that same energy, that same texture in the rolling hills below, and it's even echoed in the flame-like shape of the cypress tree. This consistent style is what ties the whole piece together into one cohesive thought. Okay, so we've got a stable, unified world. Now for the really cool part. See, a great artist doesn't just show you an image, they actually take you on a tour. This next batch of principles is all about how Van Gogh grabs your eye and leads it on a very specific journey. And we call this principle movement. It's literally the artist creating a path for your eye to follow. They're telling you where to look and in what order. It's how a totally static, flat image can feel alive and dynamic. And in The Starry Night, the movement is just wow. It's impossible to ignore. Your eye gets grabbed by that huge, flowing river of light in the sky. It acts like a powerful current, pulling your gaze from the left side of the painting and sweeping it all the way across to that brilliant moon. Now, a great way to create movement is by using pattern. It's really simple. It's just repeating shapes or lines or colors. You know, our brains are basically pattern-seeking machines, and when we find a pattern, it just feels satisfying and orderly. Just look up at the stars here. They're not just little white dots, are they? No way. Each one has its own glowing circular halo of light around it, and that repetition of circles creates this incredible, mesmerizing pattern that just dances across the whole sky. And when you have a pattern, you can create rhythm. Think of it like the painting's heartbeat. It's the visual tempo, the beat that you get from how those repeating elements are spaced out. So, you see how this works? The pattern of those swirling brushstrokes creates this powerful visual rhythm. It makes the sky feel like it's actually alive, like it's vibrating with energy. You can almost feel the wind blowing, can't you? It's like seeing cosmic waves roll across the canvas. All right, the foundation is set and our eyes are on the move. Now it's time for the good stuff, the drama. This is how Van Gogh injects pure energy into the scene and basically tells us what's most important to him. And the most direct way to crank up the drama is with emphasis. This is when an artist creates a focal point. They're basically shining a giant spotlight on one part of the painting and yelling, "Hey, look over here first." And in this painting, let's be honest, the emphasis is impossible to miss. Your eye is drawn like a magnet to the brightest things in the sky, that blazing moon and that huge, brilliant star next to it. Their sheer brightness and intense color make them the undeniable stars of the show, literally. But think about it. If everything was shouting for your attention, nothing would stand out, right? It would just be noise. That's why artists use variety. While unity holds everything together, variety is what keeps it from getting boring by throwing in some different or contrasting things. And the main source of variety in the Starry Night is this amazing, dramatic contrast. You've got this wild, chaotic, swirling sky happening up top, and it's set right against this quiet, calm, orderly little village down below. You can really see this clash when you look at the shapes. The sky is all about organic, flowing curves. But then you look down at the village, and it's all straight lines and sharp, geometric shapes. This creates this incredible tension in the painting between the raw power of nature and the quiet order of humanity. Okay, our final principle is proportion, and this is all about the size of things in relation to each other. Now, an artist can use this to make things look realistic, or like Van Gogh does here, they can totally mess with it to create a huge emotional impact. And that is exactly what he does. Just notice how that cypress tree looks gigantic, doesn't it? It towers over everything, even the church steeple. The entire village is just this tiny little patch at the bottom, completely dwarfed by this massive, almost explosive cosmos above it. He's not trying to be realistic, he's using proportion to make us feel a sense of awe, to make us feel small in the face of nature's power. And all of this brings us to a perfect quote from another artist, Edgar Degas. He said, "Art is not what you see, but what you make others see." See, Van Gogh didn't just paint what a starry night looked like. He used all of these principles, balance, movement, proportion, to make us feel what a starry night felt like to him. Its energy, its drama, its incredible majesty. So now you've got the toolkit, you have the secret language. The next time you look at any piece of art, you can see beyond just what it's a picture of. You can start to ask, okay, how is this balanced? Where is my eye being led? What's the rhythm here? Now that you know the principles, the real question is, what are you going to see differently?